So it seems like the talk of the town today is the bull run over? And man, here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? Nobody that tells you the bull run is over knows for sure. And nobody that tells you that the bear market is over or whatever knows for sure, okay? Nobody knows. Trading is a balance of probabilities, okay? And, you know, people make educated decisions, and some people are a little bit more influential and a little bit more persuasive than others. However, there is no way for us to really know if the bull run is over. I can sit here and give you my opinion, but at the end of the day, my opinion doesn't matter, just like your opinion doesn't matter. So let's not talk about opinions and let's talk about facts. In my opinion, which is kind of contradicting what I just said, there's only one fact that we need to be watching, and that is happened to be a ticker. Can you guess which ticker it is? If you guessed USDT dominance, then you were correct. Today, we're going to be talking about USDT dominance, a ticker that we have been following very closely on the channel and in the Nexus, which is my premium network full of traders that are trying to control their own narratives just like you. Before we begin, if you are new here, my name is Gio, and every day I teach you why the market moves the way that it does so that you can have confidence behind your trades. If you are returning, welcome back. I love you. If you love the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the new people. All right, let's talk about USDT dominance, because I have been very vocally bullish on USDT dominance. While the entire market is always aggressively bullish, we can see on days like today that they are aggressively bullish on the wrong ticker, because USDT dominance is undeniably bullish, and this is why the market is getting some red. Of course, we must consider Trump and all that and the tariffs. I was going to make a video yesterday about all that, but I got a little bit busy, so this isn't that video. But if you want to see my whole thoughts on the tariffs and stuff, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, let's talk about USDT dominance, okay? Let's talk about USDT dominance. Is the bear market in? Let's try to make an educated, objective consensus based upon USDT dominance, okay? Before we talk about where it may go, we have to talk about how we got here, okay? I'm going to show you the exact point that I became bullish on USDT dominance, okay? Back in March of 2024, which was when Bitcoin put its 74K high, USDT dominance put in a low approximately 3.81%, okay? Fast forward till December 24, which is approximately when Bitcoin put in its all-time high. I don't exactly know the date. I don't really care. I'm not going to go find it. It doesn't matter, right? But approximately at this moment in time, we did something called a swing failure pattern of that previous low. Or you could say that we displaced traders into believing that USDT dominance was going to continue bearishly. Now, if you recall at the time, the talk of the town, I'm also not going to get the exact line, but there was a very long trend line of 7 years, we should say, that, you know, a 7-year trend line that was being broken at the time, and thus resulted in everybody becoming aggressively, well, I'm not going to say becoming, they were born aggressively bullish, but let's say aggressively bullish times 2, okay? That trend line, we don't care about. I don't care about the trend line. It's just important to know that there was a trend line there for sentiment purposes, okay? So in order for us to understand where price, or I'm going to say price, but where USDT dominance may go, we must understand how we got here. Why is that SFP, or that displacement of traders, important? Because when you have an SFP, you are by default going to target the previous swing point, which failed to take out that level, okay? So what was your trend coming into that swing failure pattern? You had high, you had low, you had lower high, and this was supposed to create a lower low. However, it did not create a lower low. That is a problem. That swing failure pattern, or SFP, or displacement of traders, means that now we can target, you see how I have this circled before the video began? We've talked about it in previous videos as well. We may now target 6.77% should we choose to, you know, follow the price along and say that that's our target for USDT dominance, okay? Shouts out to Kenny, because back in, I don't even know how long ago, we made predictions as to what Bitcoin would be at in the event that USDT did make this move up to the upside. I was saying 70K. It's looking like I'm closer than Kenny's 55K, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, 6.78, 6.77% is the overall target for this swing failure pattern. Now, does every swing failure pattern get to its target? Absolutely not. There is no 100% in trading. However, when you do have structure confirmations as you have here, it confirms it. And when you get these multiple breaks and continued bullish USDT dominance moves, you know, it's safer to assume right now that it's going to play out more than it is not going to play out. So, eyes on 6.77%. What happens at that point? I have absolutely no idea. Do we even make it there? I don't know. But in the event that we do, if we were to SFP that high, the same way that we just SFP'd this low, would I go ahead and say that the bull market is over? Well, I would say probably not. Why? Because as soon as you SFP one side or displace traders on one side, you will likely rotate to the other side, okay? It's basically just range rotation. So that's how we got here. Okay, so I've been bullish pretty much since, bullish on USDT dominance, might I add, pretty much since December of 2024, okay? While everybody was off their rocker, out of their bananas bullish on the market, screaming for 500K Bitcoin, screaming for 10K Ethereum and, you know, etc., $1,000 Solana, I was like, whoa. This USDT dominance, which if you don't know is a direct inverse correlation to the rest of the market, is looking hella bullish right now. And not only that, but we're faking out, or we have potential to fake out that 7-year trend line, right? That we referred to. So that's something that I've been paying attention to. So what are we looking at now? Okay, let's take a look at our red structure. Your red structure is your swing structure that is currently in your uptrend, okay? And we've just been following it along. I've been following it on the channel. I've been following it in the nexus. So we're just following it along, okay? And as you can see very clearly, you have low, you have high, you have higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. What is your expectational order flow, or what is your what do you expect next, or what should you expect next? Well, structure is king, so your expectational order flow is, of course, for prices, or in this case USDT dominance, to go higher. So you're expecting higher low to then make a higher high. Okay, could this high SFP? Yes, it can. Could this high displace traders? Yes, it can. Is this low a low yet? No, it is not, because in order to confirm this low, you must take this high. So the fact that the market right now has just seemingly paused while USDT dominance just almost touched that high but didn't touch that high is telling me that the dump is not over yet. There's no way. Okay, you can't say no way. There's never 100% in trading, of course, as we've already established. However, it is very unlikely that the dump is over, leaving exact semi-equal highs in this manner, which would be a liquidity if we were trading like a tradable asset. This, to me right now, is indicating that the dump is not over, okay? So, essentially, we are waiting for this red line to get hit, right? 5.83%. Now, there are a few things that could happen at this line. There is the option where we don't even touch it and we just roll over from here and the market gets some relief. I don't think that that's very probable. Of course, anything is possible, as we have already established. However, I don't think that's the most likely scenario. And in the event that we were to get a pullback here on USDT dominance, I would suspect we would get something like a higher low to then come back and target it later, where the market will see more pain. So in my opinion, it's actually a lot more bullish if we do continue going higher and the market keeps dumping further now, so that we don't have to have that overhead looking up, you know, at us for now, okay? So that's scenario one. That is, in my opinion, the least likely. The second scenario is we get an SFP of this high, or displace traders above this high, okay? Now, displacing the traders above this high could mean one of two things. You could either get an SFP, or you could start to range just above this line here and then roll over back within the range. Both scenarios are bearish on USDT dominance and bullish on the rest of the market. We know that we're pretty overextended to the downside on the market. You know, USDT dominance going up 6% in just one day, and might I add, that being on a Sunday, is not really the most common thing. So understanding that if and when we touch this high, which again, I do believe is very, very likely that we're going to touch the high, I think sooner than later. But in the event that happens, we need to be looking out for an SFP. What does that entail? What does that even mean? If we do get an SFP here on USDT dominance, no different than how we got a macro SFP on the low and we're targeting the high, then on your 4-hour swing structure, we'll say 4-hour swing internal structure, the red pull here, we would assume that USDT dominance is going to come for the previous swing point, which failed to take out that high, which would be 5.05%, which would essentially be bullish for the market. That is option 2. Option 3 is we get a break of it. It's a clear break of structure. You don't actually react off of this point of interest, this order block just above us. Perhaps you react and then you just continue higher. And we continue our way well above towards 6.77%, which is our overall higher time frame swing structure target. Okay, by the way, the first time I made my USDT dominance video, I talked about this. I think it was in December, man, and people were commenting like, Gio, there's no way it's going to 6.8%. Okay. Anyway, that's also an option. Okay. Now, why do we need to be very concerned about option 3? And the answer is very simple. It's liquidity. You can see that I have this curve here drawn out for a reason. Okay. So this is very easily swept. Okay. So we need to be very, very cautious of what happens here. In the event that scenario 3 plays out, you need to be watching 6.77%, and you need to watch what happens at 6.77%. No different than we very much so needed to watch this low, because once again, if you displace traders above 6.8%, there is a potential to rotate all the way back down to the bottom, right? Back down to 3.7% or whatever it is. And, you know, you might get your continued bull run for the people that are in the camp that the bull run is here. Me personally, bull run here, don't care. Bear run here, don't care. I am a trader. I am 95% cash, 90% cash. So I really don't care. It makes no difference to me. But, you know, I'll take advantage of the market both ways. I don't marry one side. I don't marry one idea. I am not really an investor. I'm more of, like I said, just a trader. So I don't really care. But those are the scenarios that I'm going to be watching for right now. Okay. And if one of those don't happen, the only other option is for your red structure to start failing you. Okay. So as soon as we touch this red high, right, which we've already established is very probable that we're going to do. Look, we're continuing to dump right now as we speak. Oh my goodness. Ethereum is so cheap. That's crazy. 15. See, Ethereum is actually something that I would consider cheap, right? Like 1500 is like relatively cheap for, like, that's actually crazy. That's actually insane. Anyway, in the event that, you know, you don't touch this line, then we need to be watching your upwards red structure. Although I don't think that that's very likely. I think we're actually going to touch this even right now while I'm recording this video. We'll see. We're probably headed towards that line. Okay. So, in the event that for whatever reason, forever immaculate reason, we do not actually miraculously reason, we do not touch this red line, which again, I don't think is very likely. Then we need to be watching, look at that, Pepe swing long zone. Then we really need to be watching our upwards structure. Okay. If this structure starts to fail you, even if it happens up here, right? Like even if you break this high and you make it up here and then you get like something like this, and then that red structure, which I know is yellow on the screen right now, if that breaks bearishly, then, you know, it's perhaps not going to fulfill its full target of coming up to 6.77%. But until that happens, we have no reason to assume anything other than a higher low and a higher high. Okay. I will keep you guys updated on the channel if you want me to. So let me know in the comments down below if you like these USDT videos. In my opinion, like I don't see anybody talking about USDT in general. And I use it on a daily basis, guys. Like it is an exact inverse correlation. Like if I'm looking along whatever I'm looking to long and I see, okay, yeah. So we just hit the red line right now. So the red line being hit right now means we have a new swing point. The red line jumps up to here. This is your new swing high or low. And now we're going to have to watch and see what happens at this level. By the way, I did tell the Nexus this morning that there are no longs until that high is taken. So I am going to have to update them right away. And we're probably going to have to jump on to some like lives in the premium network. But anyways, you gotta just assume that the trend is going to continue, and right now undeniably USDT dominance is bullish. And if you do like this kind of content, please let me know, because again, I don't see any other creators really talking about USDT dominance, at least not to the extent that I do. And something for me, something to note for myself, you know, I'm very, like, I use this all the time. I use this every single day on a daily basis for every trade that I enter. It gives me additional confluence. And so I don't know why more people do not use it. But anyways, nonetheless, that it is what it is. It's basically the holy grail indicator, in my opinion, anyway. So, guys, that's it for me. That's it for this video. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I will be going on live this week, so I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. And I don't think I have anything else, so I will see you guys in the next video. And by the way, every video that I post, and now that I'm going to be going on live and I'm going to be posting videos, I have a Nexus intern word that you need to come into the Discord and in the general section, drop the word. So head over to the general section of the Discord and type our Nexus word. We used to do one intern, but I don't want to do one intern anymore. I think I want to do like 2 or 3. So the first 2 or 3 people to drop the Nexus intern code at the end of every video or every live stream or every Twitter post that I post is going to gain access to the Nexus for free until, of course, the next video. Today's Nexus word is going to be Sony. I'll see you guys later.